I know what this is. I know what's happening, and I know what's at stake.
I don't think you do, Doctor. But I promise before this Christmas day is done, you will be glad of my help.
Happy Easter. Happy Easter.
You're Father Christmas, you're real.
So I'm real. How do you think those presents got under the tree?
Merry Christmas, everyone. Welcome to the Fan
Christmas.
Fool.
Hello.
I'm the fan, Matt Antonelli.
And I'm the fool, Alex Cameron. Welcome to the jolly season, where we hope you have a jolly good number of presents this
Yes.
lovely Christmas.
And for those of you who don't deserve presents, you can have a jolly good something else. You know what I mean?
yeah, get in that house and have a jolly good spring cleaning and try and find yourself some gifts.
So,
Yes.
how are you, Alex Cameron?
After watching these episodes, I am extremely depressed because I hated them. I was really considering... I've never thought about a rating so early into the episodes, and I was like, am I going to give this a 1?
You're going to give it a William Hartnell.
No, but then I'll
Billy
tell you...
Hartnell.
For some reason when you said that, I thought of Billie Eilish, and that's why I laughed. This is my thought process, okay? I'm like, am I going to give this a 1? And I thought, no, you give something a 1 if it's so bad it makes you angry, and I wasn't angry. So I was like, okay, a 2 is... It didn't make you angry, but there was nothing good about it. And I was like, it's not that bad. Maybe I'll give it a 3. And then by the end, I was up to a 4. So I think I'm going to give it a 4.
But we're not there yet?
No, but it was sitting on a 1 for a while. I
I
don't know how you felt, but I really disliked these episodes.
felt a lot better than last week. But it's not a huge increase.
Right.
But I don't think I'm as negative as you are currently.
No, I was thinking... I wanted to ask the person who wrote these episodes, who hurt you? And why are you now inflicting this on us?
Now,
And where is Terry Nation? Someone bring him the hell back so we can get some stories, please.
Alright, so that's trivia.
Good.
Because there's something about Terry Nation about this episode.
Can I guess something?
Yes.
He hated them, or they had to rush someone in to write the story because he said, I want a break or something?
No. I'll just tell you.
Okay, because he didn't write these, did he? Because
No,
he
he
knows
didn't.
how to write a story with plot.
It was, let me find the name of the writer, Bill Strutton. Okay, now he saw the Daleks
Okay.
and he thought, I want some money as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, what's a storyline that's like the Daleks? Okay, it's ants versus bees, apparently.
Ahead of
And
his
he
time.
was like, and we'll sell heaps of merchandise from it.
I get that. This feels like someone not writing because they want to write a good story.
Yeah.
They're trying to tick the boxes.
Yeah. But I did like the ending.
So did I. I was happy by the end.
We had just happy that it was over.
No. I felt it wrapped up better than how it was going. I was like, how are they going to...
They did the classic, who was that man in that box? And he flies away.
Yeah. But
Where did they come from?
The last half of the last episode of this story arc, of this season,
The
of
last
classic
half of
Doctor
the last episode of this half of this story arc.
Who, of this season
Yeah.
of classic Doctor Who, I thought saved it.
Oh, good.
Including the final boss, which I called last episode.
The final boss.
Well, it felt like
The
a
final
video.
boss.
It felt like a video game boss.
Yeah, it did a little bit.
Remember, I said
Come
to you.
towards the light.
Well, I didn't.
Press X to avoid the light.
But remember, I said to you, this maybe the twist is this is called the Web Planet because there's a big spider somewhere,
And it was kind of
and I was like, whoa,
a spider.
it's
that
actually
controls ants.
what I said. Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, that's a spoiler. Don't spoil things.
Spoilers.
For a show from 19... Let's wait, where are we up to? 1965.
And if you've been waiting until now to watch these episodes, don't. Listen to us ramble for an hour and save yourself another 2 hours.
So... Let's do... The first... What's it called? Segment.
Is it Doctor Who?
Who?
I have a surprise for you.
I should do who, because it's like Santa.
Merry Moomas. By the way, I have a surprise for you.
Yep.
This Doctor Who Guess the Thing segment is going to be different than any other. You're guessing this time. Because
Whoa! But I brought a thing.
I know, but put it away. You'll have to use it next time. I'm not looking at it. Don't break it.
It's not worth anything to
If
me.
this was on video, I'd throw in that sound effect where it goes ching ching bang bang like you threw something really bad.
You could
Like a
actually
gun.
put those sound effects in. Okay.
As you may be aware, being you, a week and a half ago was your birthday.
Yay!
So happy birthday.
Thank you.
But you have to guess. And I'll just give context for people who are listening. I've given Matthew a wrapped present.
Yeah, I'll tear part of it soon.
Stop!
There you go. It's wrapped.
It's wrapped. He doesn't know what it is. So this is the toughest round ever. Is it Doctor Who? You have to try and guess without being able to see anything.
It feels like a book. Yeah, it is.
You reckon?
Yep.
Well, you better open it and see. You can rip it. Unless you need to
Oh
read
my
it.
gosh. It's just a calendar with your face all over it. Just kidding. It's a Doctor Who calendar.
Yeah, that would be the saddest thing ever if I was just like, oh, here's
January. Every page is a new what's it called? Pose.
Pose.
It's really late.
You know what would be funny? Is if January is a picture of me with just like a normal face that's not smiling, and then every month was exactly the same. It wasn't even different pictures. Exactly like that.
What day is it today? Oh, and it's the first Doctor's classic phrase. Goodness gracious me.
Oh,
Ooh.
on the 1st of Jan.
Where's the
So it's
actually
actually a daily calendar thing, and it has all the different monsters and doctors from the show.
Now, do you mind if I put it... Oh, look, there's a... 8th Doctor?
Ooh. He doesn't exist for me yet, so I don't
No,
care.
he's pretty battle-weary there, but I'm going to put that... Can I put that on my desk at school?
Whatever you want. It's your
The kids
gift.
can be like, he likes Doctor Who, or he likes Doctor Who. One of those things are up
And then you know whether or not they have any value or not. Happy birthday. I'm sorry it was a week and a half late.
That's okay.
But I thought about today's segment, because I was going to give it to you a few days ago, and then I thought I could save it for this and make it a nice Christmassy, lovely, warm feelings.
Oh, I like warm feelings.
Oh,
I
good.
didn't get you anything for my birthday.
That's right, and neither did Doctor Who with these episodes. I had no warm feelings.
So anyway, got it right.
You did.
I've got a 100% success rate, unlike you.
That's true. I think I'm in the 70 to 80%-ish.
I think you only got one wrong.
No, I think there's a couple.
Okay, 2 wrong. You got the scarf wrong.
Yes. So that's 2 out of 16.
And you thought the owl was Harry Potter. It was just an owl.
True. You did trick me by providing me something that has actually no relevance to any media property at all.
What's this?
It's a SodaStream bottle. He does time travel. Maybe he has that in the show.
I don't think he has a soda stream. She regenerates soon.
Oh, really? You think it's coming to a close?
Oh, she's already announced that she's leaving.
Oh.
So just picking the next person. It's 3 seasons.
Do you
3
guys...
seasons is pretty normal.
Question.
Yep.
When the Doctor regenerates, nowadays...
Like this, an orange comes out of him.
I don't know, I haven't seen it. Don't spoil it. Anyway, my question, you be quiet. Question.
Yep.
Happy birthday. Question. Do you know who the next person is going to be, or do they try to keep it a secret until the show?
It's normally known.
It's pretty hard to keep that a secret now,
Yeah.
right?
I
They
think
should
I didn't
try.
know when Christopher Eccleston became David Tennant. I didn't know who was coming.
As in, because they didn't tell?
I don't think I looked at media around that.
Okay.
But I definitely knew that Matt Smith was coming. And then I definitely knew Peter Capaldi was coming. And then they made a whole big deal when Jodie Whittaker was picked. So it's
makes
kind of
sense.
hard to avoid knowing that she was coming.
Yeah.
Now, you ready for my normal segment?
Spoiler-free brief review current episode.
Yeah, there is no current episode though.
Okay, so what are we going to do?
So I thought, from this point on, and I'm happy to do one really quickly now,
Yeah.
but I listened to Doctor Who radio plays, so I thought in place of,
Matthew's brief spoiler-free review of current episode.
I could do Matthew's...
Waiting for me to announce it. didn't know what that
Matthew's
is.
brief spoiler-free review of Radio Play,
Oh, okay.
because
I should have put that together. You're right.
they're all interlinked anyway.
Are you telling me this one narrative tells a story? It's interlinked?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, the one I listen to currently, this one was called Warbringer.
Okay.
Okay, and I bring it up because one, it's got a very significant event in it, which
Yeah.
you can't know about. But if anyone's out there from around the globe and they want to listen to an episode that features an Australian companion, listen to Doctor Who Warbringer, episode 3, Saviour, because it features Alfred. And he's like, "Struth, Doctor." And it's all...
No.
It's actually quite a good episode, but it's just really funny that it's like... Well, he's from... He himself is an Anzac from Anzac time.
And he's in the main show?
No.
Just the audio plays?
Just the audio
Oh,
plays.
good. Because that sounds awful. I don't know why, but because obviously we hear Australian accents all the time. But the idea of hearing it on the Doctor Who show,
Yeah.
that sounds cringeworthy to me. Maybe I'm wrong.
So, that's a recommendation.
Okay.
But I think what I'll do is from now on... Because I listen to one every week. In fact, I'm listening to one this week called... I just listened to one featuring the 8th Doctor called Stranded, where the TARDIS like breaks down on Earth, and so he's stranded on Earth for a bit. That's pretty cool. That doesn't ruin anything for you. There you go.
Well, I figured they go back to Earth every now and then.
And I'm also listening to one called The Year of Martha Jones, who is a companion. It's like a spin-off. So the Doctor's not in it, but it's all like, I'm Martha Jones without the Doctor.
That feels weird to me, because... Like, I get the idea of a spin-off after a show is finished, but it's weird to me to have lots of spin-offs from a show that's still going, and probably will forever.
Well, you know Torchwood, I've told you about that. It's like a spin-off of Doctor Who. Like it's an adult version.
Right.
You have to get through the first season, and I found that quite difficult. Particularly the Cyberwoman episode. Difficult. But it got finished after 4 seasons.
Okay.
But they did season 5 and season 6 as just audio plays. They just continued it.
Oh,
the
that's
actors
good.
all came back and did like episodes.
To finish the story?
Well, just kind of just keep it going.
Oh, so it's still going.
Yeah, and some of those characters come back into main Doctor Who. Although one of them had some scandals.
Oh,
So,
no.
In fact, when we get to Chris Eccleston era, there's a couple that's like, well, it's gonna be a little bit difficult for me to watch some scenes. I think.
Oh.
Not Chris Eccleston himself.
Oh, okay.
He's fine. He's awesome.
Okay.
But there's just like one person in it who's like, you're like, oh. The Web Planet, episodes 4 to 6.
Yeah.
So, Alex,
You'd be lucky to score a 4 to a 6.
I gotta admit something to you.
You didn't watch them.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of them.
No, these so cheery.
I missed the first 48 seconds because I think you had started watching them,
Oh.
and then I just kept watching it because I was like, I can't be bothered going back.
Okay.
So, and I'm pretty sure because I still saw the title, so I'm pretty sure it was just a recap part.
Yeah.
First of all, because we've had a little discussion about this,
Yeah.
overall thoughts and feelings so far.
I can sum it up like this. You ready?
Yep. That was like me last week.
I know, we've swapped even though it's the same storyline. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but I really feel like when I think in comparison you realise how good the Daleks storyline is, especially the one where they invade Earth.
Yeah.
Because I liked it, but I feel like now I'm taking it for granted based on the fact that this exists, the Web Planet.
Yeah. Well, I went back and saw the highlights from that episode with the Daleks because I was like, was it that good? And it is that good.
It is that good.
It is that good. Particularly the fact that it's like on locations for it's got iconic moments in it. And then this one, I felt like it got better, mainly because they brought in like a third group, which meant that it wasn't just like Daleks versus Thals or whatever. It was like two races that were like quite beaten down versus giant ants.
Yes.
And
they had to come together.
And it got some points for actually having web.
Yes, which is almost the first thing we see.
Yeah, I put finally some webs.
Yeah, first actual web is my first top point.
So,
and they look good. They look really good.
Yeah, even later there's some webs being shot at people and it looks good.
It looks excellent.
So I feel like it got better. I think it got better for me because I felt like the first 3 episodes there was a lot of standing around, lots of talking.
Yes.
Whereas this still had standing around and talking, but it was kind of broken up with action.
Yeah.
I put it in inverted commas because it wasn't
time relevant to that time.
Yes.
I mean.
And there's some good bits where things are flying with their wings, and I'm like,
good.
That looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the problem with these episodes is there's so much happening. This could be 3 different storylines based on this planet.
You see, I thought what they should have done is put the first 3 episodes into one episode.
Well, they'd have to cut out all the exposition.
That's fine.
Yeah, that was the problem with these episodes. It's a lot. I'll tell you what it reminded me of, and I might have said this last week, but it still applies. I recently watched The Matrix 2 because I'm getting ready for Matrix 4.
How exciting for you.
Well, number 1 is a great movie. Number 2 and 3 have some good action and lots of people standing around rooms talking, explaining to you why what they're doing is important. And it reminded me of that.
It's like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, like the first original Star Wars, episode 4. It's all like action and stuff.
Yep.
But then if you watch episode 1, it's a lot of like, people in the Senate shouting things, or like Jedi Council surrounding like a boy and being like, hey, you're going to grow up and be evil. We shouldn't train you.
You know what sucks though? That sounds like if you had never heard of Star Wars, that's an incredible premise. A child they know is going to become evil, what do they do about it? I'll tell you what they do. They talk about taxes. They have council meetings. This is all stuff that children like to watch in movies, right?
And also, they talk openly in front of that child, like, oh no, he's going to be bad. You're like, yeah, now you've probably messed him up. That's probably why he's going to go bad. Anyway.
Well, just before we cut out, they take him away from his parents.
Parent.
Oh, sorry, parent, you're right. So he doesn't have a father, he has a mother. They take him away from his mother and then proceed to spend the rest of his growing up years saying, you're going to be evil.
Yeah, and that whole... Okay. We're going to keep going on for this because
We have to.
Okay, so...
George Lucas needs to know why. Why there's such a pain in our hearts.
Not only did they take him away from his mum, they made him race in like a super dangerous pod race thing to get his freedom.
Yes, that's true.
Whereas Qui-Gon Jinn, I don't know, he has a lightsaber and the Force. I feel like he could have just saved both of them and gotten the hyperdrive generator thing for the ship all at once.
Because who was he scared of? The guy
with the wings? Just cut his wings off.
Yeah,
You're a
who's
Jedi.
like...
You killed lots of people. Sorry.
It's not like it's Jabba the Hutt who has like people at his disposal who can run after him. It's like this guy owns a junk shop. Or whatever it is.
It is. I think it's a junk shop.
I mean...
In Mos something, Esper.
Isley?
Mos Eisley. Maybe it's Mos Eisley. Mos Esper's the original one with the canteen.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Or it's the other way around.
I'll tell you what the problem is.
It could be the other way around. Anyway, sorry, you go.
The reason episodes 4 to 6 are so good, we're going to get off this topic very soon if you don't care. because we also don't care about episodes 1 and 3. The reason episodes 4 to 6 are so good is because George Lucas had people around him to rein him in, and also, I don't think he didn't direct them, did he? He wrote them, and he had other people direct them.
He directed in association with. I think he directed 4 and 6.
Okay.
And I don't think he directed Empire Strikes Back.
But not completely himself.
Yeah.
Whereas episodes 1 to 3 are completely him.
If we're wrong, I don't care.
Neither do I. George Lucas deserves nothing from anybody ever. Disney just paid him, was it like $1 billion?
It was a lot of money. And he gave them all his story treatments for episodes 7, 8, 9, and they were like, no thanks.
No. They were like, we've just paid $1 billion for this polished turd. We don't want the surroundings of this polished turd. You can keep that.
Just lastly,
Yes.
7 and 8, fine. They're both fine. 9, I have more problems with.
Yes, but here's the argument.
Yeah.
And don't worry, if you're on YouTube, you can skip all this because I'll put it in one section that says Star Wars no branting.
The guy talk about webs, Star Wars.
Okay. The guy who made Lost made episode 7.
Sorry. Yeah.
What's wrong?
No, when you said made Lost, I had no idea what you were talking about. So I was just like, it's Lost.
You know the TV show
I
with
know,
an incredible
J.J.
premise
Abrams.
and no ending?
Is it J.J. Abrams?
Yeah, J.J. Abrams. I couldn't think of his name because he should be irrelevant after Lost, and for some reason they decided to keep giving him money.
Everyone fails upwards.
That's a good point. He got right to the top. He made Star Wars. Mm-hmm. He made episode 7. They gave episode 8 to Rian Johnson, a guy who made small indie films up to that point.
Yep.
And then gave it back to the Lost guy for episode 9. He's meant to try to... Why didn't they let him do the trilogy?
I think Rian Johnson's making his own trilogy. But the thing I liked about the Rian Johnson one was the fact that J.J. Abrams obviously set up some stuff. Like, he was like, who's Snoke? What's going on? Who are the First Order? Who's Rey's parents?
You're describing potential plot lines.
Yes.
And then what happens?
Rian Johnson's like, Rey's parents are nobodies, Snoke gets cut in half, and the First Order are just the bad guys.
So it's like J.J. Abrams built the foundations of a house. Rian Johnson came and burnt it to the ground.
Yeah, I liked it.
And handed the ashes back and
I
said,
loved it.
Here,
good luck.
Finish the house.
Well, Rian Johnson was
You have
originally
a third
supposed to
of the
do...
budget.
I think Rian Johnson was originally supposed to do 8 and 9.
Oh, I didn't know that. But 8 happened and they were like, oh...
No, I think he was like, he's like, these guys.
I don't feel like he's excusable though.
I've just thought of something.
Okay, but
Get this out of your system.
Everyone says 7 and 8 is fine, but the reason 9 is bad is because of what was done in 8. It's at least half Rian Johnson's fault.
Oh yeah, like he basically wrapped up the movies.
He didn't.
As in like he left no story that needed to keep going.
Yeah. It's like if you're sharing a project with someone at work and they don't do any of the work, and then you come in and they go, here you go, I torched the computer. Start again. Bye. It's done. It's due at 12. See ya. And I don't like J.J. Abrams, but I feel bad for him because of what he tried. Well, I guess that's his whole career, isn't it? He tried.
Like Lost. He tried
Lost started so good, but he never thought to write an ending before they started shooting.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
I guess you don't realise you're going to get 6 seasons.
Yeah.
And then you make the smoke monster a dead guy. Or not a dead guy. And then they travelled to Purgatory using, like, water and light or something.
It could have been so good.
This has made me think of another idea.
Yes.
We should just do a podcast where we just whinge about bad stuff.
Yes. That should be one of our specials. Because the next episode is going to be a special where we watch the Doctor Who movie.
Yeah, I've got that. I want to show you where to find it because
We're
Timber
watching
box.
it together.
Yeah, but okay.
I thought that was what we said.
Well, yeah, sure.
Don't reject me.
All right, creative needles. So, Ian and Vestian find themselves in an underground cave because they
Yes.
escaped.
The cave-in.
Yep, the cavern. Or the cave-in. Yeah,
Those are different words. I wasn't failing to say the word cavern. I was saying the phrase cave-in. Man, I feel so judged. I said cave-in and you said, oh, do you mean... You know how when autocorrect makes you feel stupid? You're like, no, I didn't mean to write the word nebulous. I was saying nobody. What's wrong with you? You just autocorrected me.
Yeah. Okay, so they get surrounded by some creatures. Smash cut to Barbara.
Yeah.
And so Barbara is at the Crater of Needles. Like, she is a prisoner of the Zarbi.
Yes.
I forgot what they were called initially, so I called them the ants here.
I just call them bees and ants.
And
I'm not giving them names.
she learns more about what's going on, though.
Yes.
Because exposition time. So...
Da-da-da-da-da-da. More exposition for you. Oh, here's a buffet. It's all exposition.
What's going on here? Exposition. That's what's going on.
That should have been what was said.
So she says, like, what are all, like, the ants, what's their deal? And so she's talking to one of the Menoptera. I can't remember who it is. Rostar, it says here. They're feeding raw material into the acids.
Yep.
Which go somewhere. And he explains that there's this thing called the ananas that basically controls all the ants.
Yes.
Which then made me realize, like, that's why the ants are so dumb. Because they're not really their own things, you know what I mean? They're just kind of, like, being controlled by something else.
Yes, which actually helps because at first when you're watching this, you think, oh, this is just really badly written, or the people who are in those costumes don't know what they're doing. But it makes more sense now that that's why they're like that.
And, like, the fact that they're a little bit like, that's a really tiny spider and I'm afraid of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
At 5 minutes, 50 seconds, the cone of silence returns.
It does.
So the doctor
Cue Get Smart music.
gets the thing on his head. So the Doctor and Vicki have the spider. And so the Doctor's like, just keep it hidden. We don't want to, like, escape yet. The Doctor gets the cone of silence.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know what he knows about the Menoptera. So he's like, they're coming to invade you, blah, blah, blah. And he kind of fakes, like, he doesn't give them all the information because he obviously doesn't want to die.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to, like, help them in their plans to do what they're doing.
Yeah, because they don't seem great,
No.
if I'm honest. And then we went back to Ian.
Yep.
So this is where I was like a little bit of an uptick. Because there's weird, like, grub creatures called the Optera, I think. And they've captured Ian and
Bee Lady.
Breastron. Yeah, Bee Lady.
You can call her by her real name if you want. I'm not going to
No,
give her
Bee
that
Lady's
decency.
better because I can't remember her name half the time.
And also, anyone listening to this is already asleep if we start trying to remember all the names.
And they seem to... I thought it was really interesting the way they... Like, they didn't use handcuffs. They kind of glued their hands together.
Yes.
They stuck the... So, basically, these grub things are like, we've got you. Stick your hands inside this pool.
Yeah.
It was like a bird bath. You know? Like a little... And so Ian puts his hands in and he's like, ah... But it's not burning him or anything. It's just, like, gluing his hands together.
Yeah, it's fair enough he'd be freaked out. And it looks good, too. The way that they showed the glue on their hands.
It looked like when you're doing the dishes and your hands are covered in soap suds.
Yeah, that's true.
And the Bee Lady did the same, except she didn't quite put her hands together. They were kind of like that.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
Her wrists were, like, joined together for those people who aren't watching.
Yeah.
Which is everyone.
By the wrist. Yeah. Question though.
Yep,
Quickly.
go. You can ask me whatever you want because I don't have a whole range of notes because not a lot of stuff really happens.
True. I promise this will be my last reference to the Matrix in this episode. It's not even a thing I care that much for, but it seems so relevant because do you remember the twins with the blonde dreadlocks?
The ghosts.
Yes.
Yep.
That's the first thing I thought of when I saw these people with like the white.
Yeah.
That's all I could think of because I just seen the movie and I was like, wow, they're back.
And they talk about the chasm of light. They're like, ooh, we worship the chasm of light. We stay away from the surface because of the light.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny, like, the lore that's kind of, like, built there, where they, like, worship the Menoptera.
Yes.
And it's like, oh. It's
This
like
is weird.
They've seen the bugs flying around the sky and they've gone, they are our gods.
It's an interesting idea.
Yeah. So the Doctor and Vicki, they've got those harnessy things that keep them in, like, mind controlled.
Yes. Yep.
So they're being punished for, like, withholding information because the Doctor has recorded the stuff that's been being said.
Yeah.
And they discover the recording because he accidentally plays it, I think.
Yeah, that's one part I was confused about. That's what I thought happened, but I wasn't sure if I misunderstood.
Yeah.
But they realise he's had the information they wanted this whole time and hasn't shared it with them.
And so they put the harness things on him and Vicki, but he's managed to tamper with one of them.
Yes.
And so he was talking about how they're made of gold, and so he's somehow managed to tamper with it so it won't mind control the person that's wearing it.
Yes.
So I didn't know when that happened.
Well, I thought... Wasn't there a scene where they talk about the fact that it's made of gold?
Yeah.
And so he realises I can use some sort of material on it to break down its power.
Yeah, but then they do use... He kind of reprogrammed it.
Is that what he ended up doing? Because I don't feel like
Because
they
they
explained
used
that
it
very
again.
well.
They put it on... Oh no, they put the one that was working on on a Zabi
Yes.
to kind of control it.
No.
To block the signal.
I watched that scene twice because I was like... the Doctor was wearing the one... This is what I think...
He was wearing one that works.
No.
Originally he was.
Originally, and then they swapped. So he had the one that wasn't, and then he put the one that wasn't on the ant. And I was like, is that a mistake?
I think he's reprogrammed that one.
He says, oh, maybe the TARDIS has more power, and I think it's going to happen in reverse. Meaning they're now going to have control.
Yeah.
So the one that wasn't... It's not that it's not working, it's that it's working the other way. So once he now puts it on the ant, they can control the ant.
Yeah.
Through the power of the TARDIS.
Yeah, well the TARDIS has lots of powers. Also, his ring has lots of powers, apparently.
Yeah, why do you say apparently? Is it not a thing that...
Well, it's not a thing, but that also doesn't surprise me because, like, the sonic screwdriver is kind of like that. It kind of solves problems inexplicably sometimes. So
Okay.
I suppose he's had sonic sunglasses.
Oh.
So, and a sonic cane. And
I feel like this
there's
Doctor
been a
should have
sonic trowel and a sonic umbrella.
Sonic trowel?
Like a shovel. And like a little diggy. A little diggy.
When you need you a little diggy Sonic.
Yeah, well,
I want you to make that sandcastle very fast. Get me the
Or
Sonic...
take it down very fast.
Oh, yeah.
So, the grubs... Sorry, you're going to say something.
All I was going to say is, I'm sorry if we keep going off track, but these episodes are that bad that's why.
I'm literally at the end of the first episode right now.
Yeah.
Because the grubs are like, we're going to kill you and Ian. They're like, goodbye, B-Lady and Ian.
Yep.
But then B-Lady's like, check out my wings. And they're like, oh, hello.
Oh, wings.
So then they think she's top? Is that a compliment?
In charge.
In charge. She's a god. They think she's a
Actually,
god.
That sounded very British. Oh, are you? He's a top bloke. He's tops, isn't he?
She top B.
Okay. I'll quickly say,
Watch out, Ian.
I'm glad with the end of the first episode we're getting through these, but I have a few things I want to quickly say.
Yep. It's only been 50 minutes.
Why do the bees now speak through interpretive dance?
They do the weird movement when they walk.
And they're chatting. But I don't feel like they were doing it so much in the first 3 episodes. A little bit. But now it's like it's actually a performance.
Yeah, I feel like that was pretty continuity-wise. It kind of kept going.
Well, excuse that then. Well, what else have I got here? Did you see the part where...
Bees love dancing. Haven't you ever just watched a bee?
No, I've seen Bee Movie.
No one should see that movie.
Imagine writing Seinfeld for 9 years and being a genius and then releasing that and having the whole
You know
world
what?
go,
Because he's
why?
insane. He would have just been like, I'm going to make heaps of money. It doesn't matter what I write.
Yeah, but he didn't make season 10 of Seinfeld, even though they would have paid him lots of money, because he was like, it's the art. It's finishing now. It's
Well,
beautiful.
maybe bee movies are art and we just don't understand it.
Are you talking about the movie where there's sexual tension between a human woman and a bee?
Yep.
Complete with funky music? Anyway, I've still got things to say.
Yep.
Did you see the part where Vicki and the ant look like they're almost hugging or embracing when the ant is trying to move her around and she's like being mind controlled, and they were like really close. The ant was over the top of her and they were kind of shifting. How weird that looked.
Yes.
I mentioned that because that's going to be in the highlights with some love hearts.
that lovely music as well.
Yeah, the UK artist. It's the trumpet song. What's it called?
That, yeah.
George Michael.
George Michael.
And lastly, if the dreadlock creatures, which is what I'm just going to call the grubs,
Yep.
after the guys out of the Matrix, which makes no sense, the movements are inconsistent. Are you hopping or half walking?
I saw that,
Yeah.
and it looked like the one that did most of the talking walked like a normal one, and the rest all hopped around.
Okay, well that's...
Which I don't think makes sense, but that's what was happening.
I feel like you're giving it more nuance than it has, but that makes more sense than just...
It doesn't make sense. They should all either hop or walk normally, or crawl around like grubs.
And if the story was better, we wouldn't notice those things.
You're correct.
You know what I mean? We'd be going, ooh, cool story.
I did think it was
Instead of, why are you hopping?
cool when they... So Barbara and whatever her friend's name is, they're on the plateau waiting for the spearhead from space.
Yes.
Reference.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Is it really?
Yeah. Oh no, it's just it's a coincidence.
Oh, okay. I thought that's cool. 20 years later, someone said, hey, did you see this cool episode, The Web Planet? I want to use some of those ideas. And they said, you're fired. You have no class. Goodbye.
They look up at the sky and there's like they see stuff. I was like, and it didn't look good.
No.
And then the bees all arrive and they're like, we're bees.
Hurrah.
And they're like, we're here to do a thing. And they're like, no, don't do the thing because you're going to all get killed. And they're like, no, we're doing it.
It's too late.
And then a bunch of them get killed.
Yeah.
And Barbara and one of the bees escapes
Yeah.
with some other bees. It's just, you know what? There's just so many bees. and the ants just killed some of them.
That's the episode title. There's just so many bees.
Look, this
Nick Cage.
just
No, not the bees.
folding some trivia back in here.
Okay.
The guy that wrote this said he got inspiration. So he wanted to make money out of merchandise. But this scene in particular made me think, what the hell is going on here? Because it was people in ant costumes. And look, I still think the costumes look fine.
I feel like the ants look really good.
Yeah, I like
They're not used well, but they look good.
Yes, and I really like the bees. So the writer said he drew inspiration from watching bees and ants like attack each other when he was a child.
Okay.
So This
I
scene
get
took, like,
where
this
that's coming from.
peak, and the bees suck. I'm sorry, but they're what was the? So they explain their plan to Barbara. Look, this is off topic, but it's still relevant. They explain their plan to Barbara, and it's like, we're just going to overwhelm them with numbers. Yeah, that doesn't work. You can't just be like, oh, there's heaps of us that can't fight. We'll just run at them.
Yeah, they also have guns. Guns which are just clearly a person putting their arm through a costume and lifting it up, and
The gun didn't work properly, though. Like, it worked, but it didn't really kill anything.
no.
So a bunch of bees die, and then we move on to the next episode. So Barbara and a few bees escape.
That sounds so weird.
And they escape some ants and the little bugs that shoot things from their nose.
Yes.
Those ones.
The gun noses.
There they find more bees. I'm just replacing names of people with bees. Okay, so
Are you talking about when she accidentally stumbles through a hidden wall?
yes.
That is never raised again. Like
How did they find that hidden wall?
They didn't find it, but I know that they find this other place that they're like, oh, this is amazing. But no one ever goes, hey, how did you find that? She just fell on it and they said, oh, excellent, you found the hidden wall. Like it is a video game.
I thought, because the bees can fly and the ants can't,
Yes.
why didn't just some of the bees work together and pick up an ant
It's a good point.
and just carry it up into the sky and then just drop it?
Or just, if you're losing the battle, just go up.
Just come on, I have the high ground. That kind of thing.
Yes.
Um,
And the prequels are worse than this.
now, this scene with Barbara and the bees is the highlight of this whole series.
Which tells you something.
Because they're like, the bees that have hung out with Barbara are like, we should trust this woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the bees that have just arrived are like, who's this person? Why do you trust them at all?
Yeah.
But then she asks all the right questions. So she's like, if you had one, what was the plan?
Yeah.
Where do you have to go to do that? You're here now, so why can't we do that? Like, she strategizes a proper plan
Yeah.
to get their job done for them.
Yes.
And I was like, she was really clever. And
She's the hero.
And she's been doing a lot better since, like she used to scream a lot and she kind of used to be like older Susan.
Yes.
But now she is like...
I feel like she's been the hero for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. She's like...
Ever since her ankles were bathed with water, she's been great.
It's been magic. Yeah, well, that happened in what? The episode with the Giants?
Yeah.
And ever since... What has she done since then? Run over Daleks?
Crash a truck into a Dalek.
Um,
In that episode, she wheeled that guy around the city
Yes.
so that he wouldn't just get killed on his own.
And then he walks to his death anyway.
And yeah, and she, in that episode also,
Yeah.
she is basically like, I don't know where the Doctor and Ian are, but I'll take on some Daleks.
Yep.
Like, how crazy is that?
She's awesome. Ian has like battles with random warriors, but it doesn't contribute to the plot or them escaping. He's just like, oh, I'll fight this Jaguar guy. Oh, I'll fight this Roman. And then Barbara's like, here's the battle plans.
To be fair, Barbara did actually hit Ian over the head with a pot the other week.
That is true.
But
Maybe she's
that's
just
more of the
violent.
writing.
Yeah, that also wasn't Terry Nation, was it?
No, he'll come back though.
Yeah, good. Yeah, because they said, someone get him the hell back here. We're struggling. I'd be interested to know the reception of these episodes.
Well, you can kind of tell the reception in the rating, the viewers. So the very first episode of this season, of this story arc,
Yeah.
episode 1,
Yeah.
was the most watched episode of the 60s.
Wow.
But it dropped every subsequent episode. So,
Why is it... What... Did they...
It basically... Ever since the Daleks returned, it was basically just tracking up.
Okay.
And then it just kind of like got to this episode and then dipped again. So
They just lost everyone.
yeah, well, they didn't lose everyone. They were still getting over like 11 million people
Like,
watching.
good viewers.
But it definitely dipped a bit.
It really makes you realise, I know I said it before, but how good the Invasion of Earth storyline is.
Yeah, that's why they wanted to make it a movie.
Well, it has... Compared to this, it has good characters, like different people in the rebellion on Earth against the Daleks. It has a proper structure and a storyline. It has character
growth.
Yes, it's amazing. And then we get like...
It also has, though, the Doctor abandoning his granddaughter, who is supposed to play... The actress is supposed to play that character like she's 16, and he leaves her with, you know, a guy in his 20s. But like I said, the 60s.
Hey!
You know what he should have done? He should have taken David and her and taken them somewhere which had just been ravaged by Daleks.
That's a good point. Forget the fact that this is a man and a child. He's left them at the end of basically an apocalypse.
Yeah.
And said, I'll be... Well, he also says, I'll be back. And I get the feeling he never comes back.
He does come back.
But not as William Hartnell.
Not as William Hart.
That makes sense. Because I wouldn't either if she was screaming at me like that all the time.
And they will see each other again. And we'll see her again.
I knew that was the case.
But
Did she ever go?
Circumstances are
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh. Spicy trivia.
Spicy.
My favourite.
I can't give you too much because it'll tell you all this things.
No, that's
going
okay.
on.
We're also getting off track again because we don't want to keep talking about bees. And
Okay,
ants,
anyway,
you know.
Vicki releases the Doctor from his thing.
Harness thing.
And the Doctor thinks that he'll be able to control one of the Zarbi if he puts it on a Zarbi.
Yeah.
An ant.
And it works.
Yeah, it does. And he's got a pet ant.
Yeah, which he treats like a dog.
Yeah.
Like he whistles
Well,
at it.
She seems more fond of it than he does.
That's
but he
true.
does use it usefully.
Yeah.
Yes. He uses
He
it well.
puts it to good use.
Yeah. In the caverns...
Not the cave in. Sorry, I didn't know what you were waiting for. See, now I'm correcting you. Yes.
The Doctor... No, sorry. Ian and B-Lady and Slugs
Yes.
are trying to get to the Animus.
Yes.
Because the B-Lady knows what's going on with that. And the Slugs are like, we like this B-Lady, so we'll just do what she tells us to do. And so they're going through... they're trying to break through some walls to get some light.
Yeah.
And one of the Slugs accidentally gets killed from it.
Yes.
And the group of Slugs is just like, eh.
Yeah, they're
You see-
literally just like, well, it would have been all of us if not just the one.
Yeah, this is what we
Bye.
do. That was what they were like. They're like, this is what we do. One person tries it, and if it works, we all saved. But if it doesn't, just one dies. And you're like, oh, that's interesting society, isn't it?
It is.
So, gosh, I'm almost at the end of this episode. So Barbara and the bees, they reach this temple.
Temple of Light.
And they're figuring out the next part of their plan. And the Doctor and Vicki and his pet ant, which he names, or she names it.
I think it was her. Bongo? Not
I
Bongo.
put Zomberg?
That's a Zombo.
Let me find it.
I don't think it was Berg, because I had the subtitles on. I'm pretty sure it was something like Zombo. No, that would be like zombie.
I don't think it's in here, probably because even the wiki doesn't care. So,
Oh, this wasn't written by Terry Nation? Wiki says no. It was something like Bongo.
okay, I think it started with a Z though. I
Maybe
think she tried to
Zombo.
like Zarbi tried to ziz.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
ziz it.
Sound like a bee there.
So they kind of adjust the plan a little bit. So they're still going to go. Barbara and some of the bees are still going to go and try and stop the Animus.
Yeah.
And the Doctor and Vicki are going to take the isotope. He's going to take the isotope back and destroy the Animus himself.
Yes.
So it's kind of like there's two plans there. So
Yeah.
he's got the isotope and they've got like a bomb thingy,
Yeah.
which has a really cool action scene in a minute.
It does, yes.
But so he heads off, and the bees are like, "Well, we'll take the ant with us because that could be useful.
Yeah.
Can we have the ring?" And the Doctor's like, "I don't want to give you the ring." And they're like, "Well, we gave you our isotope."
Yeah.
So they have a little back and forth, and Barbara's like, "There's no problem here, is there?"
To control him, you will have to use my ring. And that is of untold value.
And what of the value of our isotope?
Is anything wrong?
No, my dear, no.
A small matter.
And I thought that was really good. Like, she knows
What he's like.
what he's like.
Yeah.
And so he gives them the ring, and then they leave on their separate plans. And I'm pretty sure... Oh, no, sorry. The ending is the Doctor and Vicki get close to the Animus, but then they get caught and get webbed up.
Yeah, and that looked really good.
Yeah.
That looked
Even
great.
the shooting, and then suddenly they were webbed.
Yeah. On the
End
web planet.
of episode.
End of episode. Two things I want to say.
Yep, go for it, because I got nothing.
They're actually opposites of each other. One is they made the decision to show shots of the ants up close, and I was like, that's a terrible idea because they look okay in movement, but just showing their face, you're like, oh, that doesn't look very good. But then one of the best shots I've seen in the show so far happens, and it's the one that you're talking about where the bees... So the shot is from above, looking down at Barbara and the bees walking out, getting ready for this battle sort of thing. And then it comes down so that it's almost like you're in the grip of people marching along.
Yeah.
That was a great shot.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. Also, bees.
Bees! So, the last episode. The Doctor and Vicki were webbed up,
Yeah.
and the ants tell them that they're going to be taken to the Animus
Yeah.
because he's really smart, I guess.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Now, I'm going to go through what's happened with Doctor, and then there's a bit with Barbara that confuses me.
Okay.
Okay, so the Doctor and Vicki, they're going to get taken to the centre, and the Doctor's like, it's a good thing you've got that isotope.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't have it. I
Yeah.
hid it in the astral map thing sometime.
Yeah, we didn't see that. And we saw them when they were around that area.
Yeah. And so the Doctor's like, great. End scene.
Yep.
Barbara.
Oh, yeah, I know where
Bees.
you're going with this.
Okay, so they've got one ant on their side,
Yes.
and they've got a bunch of bees. And they hear the signalling of another ant, which comes along and tries to stop them.
Yes.
Now, can you explain to me how the bees stopped that ant?
Are you talking about when the bees ran around doing some of that interpretive dance we talked about and went, Zabi!
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 And I was like,
Is this a joke?
yeah. If you're an ant, right? Just picture it.
Do ants web?
Two ants were...
No, sorry, just picture it. You're an ant.
Yeah, you're an ant, right?
Yeah.
And you've killed a lot of bees.
Yeah.
If one of them starts yelling at you,
Yeah.
does that stop you from killing it?
No.
I was expecting just to tear some wings off or something, but it just kind of
I thought
freaked out and then ran away. And it went to get reinforcements.
I thought the idea was they would... See, I thought they were distracting it so that Barbara could attack it, but then that didn't happen.
No, there is a scene where she does, like, wrestle one down.
Yeah.
But that wasn't here.
That was the worst scene. That might be the worst scene we've seen so far in Doctor Who.
The scene we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you agree? I'm struggling
I
to
just
think of the worst.
I just couldn't think of what the point of any of that was.
No.
Give them some... When you're creating aliens, give them some things that they can defend themselves with apart from weird sounds.
Zarbi!
They had guns. Just let them shoot the guns a bit. And maybe it doesn't kill the ant, but it makes it go, I'll go get some reinforcements.
Yeah.
Which is one of those little little bug things with the shooty nose.
Yes. Question.
Yep.
When this Bill fella who wrote these episodes said that he based the interactions between the bees and the ants on things from his childhood,
Yep.
when did he see that? Zarbi!
Maybe he heard it.
In his head? That would explain. If he's hearing voices, that would explain why he got such confidence to write these episodes.
Back to Ian. Remember Ian?
Yeah, does Ian remember Ian? Can I tell you something?
Well, he has been hit on the head a lot.
Yes, he has. He's done for. He's having dementia at 60. But listen, I swear there are moments in the show where if you look at Ian and Barbara's faces, that you can see the actors going like, what the hell is this? Like, did you see that?
Yeah.
Like they're professionals and they're saying their lines and they're doing their bit, but you can see moments where they're like,
I have...
am I really doing this? This is my career.
I have trivia that has to be delayed, though.
Okay, I'm sorry. I should stop bringing that up.
So, remind me, we'll get to an episode called The Chase.
Oh, I thought you meant for these episodes.
No.
Okay, The Chase.
The Chase. Remind me then, you had trivia about this when we did ants and bees.
Okay.
Okay.
I won't forget because I need some resolution on what they thought about these episodes.
Yeah, there's resolution.
Imagine getting this script and being like, oh, I have to hang out with a bee lady and we're fighting.
I like the bee costumes, but I guess from an acting point of view, you'd be like, what the hell is going on?
No, because you're sitting there thinking, man, the invasion of Earth, this storyline was amazing.
Yeah.
And then they're like, do you like bees? Here's your next script.
Okay. There's only 2 paragraphs left in the story. You ready? So, sorry, remember Ian?
Yeah.
So he's traveling underground with
Bee
Lady and slugs.
Yep.
And they get to sort of like the surface of the planet and they're just trying to break through.
Right.
And that's where we leave them.
Mm-hmm.
Barbara and her bee squad managed to overpower one of the... It's got the name over here, a larvae gun. It's the little bugs that shoot.
That's what they're called. They go shoot.
They go shoot. One of the bees gets killed.
Yep.
But they also squish that bug.
Yeah.
And I thought that looked awesome. They like pick it up and they like squish it against a wall. And I was like, that's so cool.
And you can even see Barbara flinch.
Yeah, she's like, ooh. Because I guess it'd be like if you stepped on a cockroach. I mean, it can sometimes be gross.
Mm-hmm.
But if that cockroach is, I don't know, 6 feet long.
Yeah. And to squish it, you lift it up.
I'm not picking up that.
And push it up against the wall.
I'm use some insect, get some mortine out. Then it goes nuts until it dies. Because when you spray a cockroach with that, they don't just sit there and go, alright, I'm dying.
No.
They go bananas.
Yeah, but imagine
imagine a 6 foot cockroach.
Oh, man.
The Doctor should have some of that in his coat. Some mortine. He probably does now, in case he lands on another insect planet.
That would have been amazing if William Hartnell's like, they made this in the future on Earth. It's very useful. brings out a
think
spray
they
can
still
of
made it-
Mortine.
I think they had insect spray in the 60s.
Oh.
Also, he is a time traveler, I guess.
That's what I mean. So it's like today sort of stuff. Anyway, bees.
The Doctor and Vicki are taken to the Animus.
Yep.
So it looks like a spider, or like a big ball of light with like tentacles and stuff.
And they call it a spider. Someone says something about it not being a spider, but maybe...
It's like an octopus thing.
Yeah.
Someone says that as well.
Yeah.
Um,
But I called it. I mean, I'm not proud of it. It's not like anything that's ever...
I mean, I didn't dispute that.
No, I know. But like... I wish I could have called something that was like good.
Anyway,
We're
there's
getting there.
a lot of information here, but I'm just going to say that Doctor and Vicki get blinded by the light a bit,
Yes.
and they just fall on the ground.
And it starts to the Animus. And that was one good thing. This is when I started to like the way that this starts to end. Because the person voicing the Animus I thought was very good.
Yes.
What I take from you will enable me to reach beyond this galaxy into the solar system, to pluck from Earth its myriad techniques, and take from man his mastery of space.
The female kind of like, almost like an AI voice. You know, what's that Portal game? It made me think of...
GLaDOS.
Yes, it made me think of GLaDOS. That's the kind of vibe I got.
Momentum, a function of mass and velocity, is conserved between portals. In layman's terms, speedy thing goes in, speedy thing comes out.
It did sound GLaDOS-y.
And I wonder if they
I didn't think of that till you said that.
I wonder if they got the inspiration from these episodes.
Yes.
There's also another person who sounds like something that we know. Do you want me to say what that is, or should we proceed with the story?
Well, I'm just gonna look. Can I just finish off the story?
Yes. Let's
So,
finish this damn
just
thing.
to wrap it all up, the Doctor and Vicki are on the ground. Barbara and all the bees storm the place.
Yay.
And Ian and his bee lady and
companion. Slugs.
That's interesting. Isn't it? It's like he's got his own companion in this story, and all the
Life
slugs
partner.
turn up.
Yep.
And Barbara manages to kill the Animus.
She
saves the day.
Always.
And then they do something which... This is why I think this is improved. So the way it ends becomes a very stereotypical, like how these stories always end in Doctor Who.
Right.
Well, they all kind of... They're having a chat. They're resolving everything. So the Doctor gets his ring back from one of the bees. The slugs are like, oh, outside is kind of nice. So they've entered a new world. The ants are all docile and fine now because they're not under the control of weird spider lady. There's water flowing again. So like the planet's starting to like heal after it's had this like parasite thing.
Yeah.
And then the TARDIS crew all get in their box and fly away.
And the people go, whoa, it disappeared.
Yeah. But it was a nice ending.
It was.
So it was an improvement on the first three. I wouldn't say it turned into the best series ever, but it was much better than when it started.
I will say this episode was an improvement over the last 5. I don't think I even liked the other 2 in this half that we watched.
Yeah, okay.
Not even, you know what? Half of this episode was better than the 5.5 previous.
Jeez.
It was, yeah.
Alright, so are we rating it now?
No, I have random things to say.
Oh, do random things, and I'll just scroll in case there's any additional trivia.
Okay.
I think there was one thing I wanted to talk about.
Okay, here's some things I want to say. Did you notice that the bee who borrowed the Doctor's ring did the Sheldon laugh from Big Bang? He did the...
Doctor, we owe you a great deal.
There's only one thing you owe me, my friend.
And what is
That is my ring.
that? Your ring?
Oh, clever! Playing on the use of cardinal numbers as euphemisms for bodily functions.
when he was
Oh
laughing.
yes, I did see that. Yes.
That's exactly what I thought of.
Oh,
Like,
I didn't think of Sheldon, but I saw the laugh.
and I was like, whoa.
Oh, you put a little comparison in the video there.
I will. I'm gonna. Well, there's a few comparisons to lots of media products that were better than this.
Man, you really hated this.
I don't. If you
Just express it like a sound. Ah, that kind of thing. A deep sigh.
They talked about after the crew leave, the bees talk about these good deeds of these people from Earth will be sung in the Temple of Light. And I thought, I hope we go back there at some point in the future. You're shaking your head, never again.
Never going back.
I thought it'd be cool if at some point they went back and they were like, oh, we heard about you from our ancestors.
There is sometimes that,
Yeah.
but not with these guys. Not on TV. They get radio play.
Oh, okay.
And they get, I think, a book or a few books. Would you like to continue saying your things?
Yes, I would, thank you. Well called. I feel like there was too much plot and exposition. I feel like if they gave a third of it, it would have been enough.
Mm.
And I also thought, do you not think it kind of ended on a weird shot, right? The TARDIS has left, all the resolution has happened, which is really good.
All the insects are like still talking to each other.
Yeah, but it then cuts to a single frame and it doesn't move, and they're all standing there facing the camera.
Mm.
And it felt like, you know, at the end of a play when all the actors come out and stand next to
group
each other,
photo.
and all but they all bow.
Yeah.
It felt like, oh, here's all the kids that Mum and Dad, the kids have come out. Let's clap for them. Weren't they great? It was the weirdest shot yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know I've been very harsh.
Okay, you brought some additional trivia. I've got some continuity and some references. But first of all, it's the return of my favourite segment.
Who was on holidays?
Who was on holidays? Of the main TARDIS crew.
Does that include
four of
Vicki?
them. Yes.
Oh, sorry, the four of them, yes. I feel like it could be Vicki, but or maybe Ian. I'm wrong, aren't I?
Yep.
Who was it?
Barbara. Jacqueline Hill. Does not appear at all in Escape to Danger, so that was one of the ones we watched last week.
Right.
As she was on holiday during the week it was recorded, and she's not credited. Her name doesn't appear in the credits of that episode, which she complained about.
But she wasn't there.
Yeah, but she's still a main cast member, so you normally credit all main cast members.
Imagine being so good that you are missing on holidays, left out of credits, and you're still the one that saves the day at the end.
We've done some trivia already. So, one actor. Now, I'm sure this guy's famous. Peter. He's famous in Australia, in the UK anyway. Peter Purves, Purves. Purves. I can't say his last name.
That's
without
an
making it sound weird.
unfortunate last name.
But he's an actor. He was in the British Office.
Okay.
In case there you go. There's a reference for you.
Yeah. Who did he play?
He auditioned to play a bee.
Okay.
But Richard Martin, who I think is the director, turned him down, telling him that he was too talented to play a rubber-suited monster. So he was like, hold that thought, I'll bring you back when I need a human character.
Oh, so he's later in the
He
show.
comes back later on.
But doesn't that tell you what the director thought of these characters?
Yeah.
He said to an actor, no, you're too good for this. Spicy trivia.
So there's a lot of that stuff going on. Lastly, this is going to be the last couple things, ready? References. So this covers the first 3 episodes as well. Vicki hasn't heard of aspirin and studied medicine, physics, and chemistry.
Yes. That's a good point.
Ian originally thinks that TARDIS landed on the moon. I remember that. The Menoptera, the bees, use electron guns.
Okay.
Do you remember hearing them say that?
Vaguely.
There's some continuity errors with the expanded part of this. So, the Doctor here mentions that he's never been to this planet before, but he's actually been to it 3 times before.
Okay.
So there's been comics and things set before this where he lands on this planet.
Okay.
And then he'll continue to land on it in audio plays into the future. And Barbara is still wearing the bracelet given to her by Nero.
Oh, yeah, because that should have been destroyed.
And while, like, it's very interesting, because I feel like a lot of things happen in the expanded universe when something on TV isn't fantastic.
Okay.
So this planet shows up a lot more in the expanded universe.
Right.
Now, there's some famous in-universe Doctor Who people that are from the same galaxy as this planet as well, which we'll have to get to.
Yeah.
You ready to rate it?
Yeah, I feel like I did at the beginning, and I'm sticking to it. 4 out of 10. Scrapes
Tom
it.
Baker.
4 out of 4. Well, it's another... What else did I give? Oh, the Romans.
This is a classic Tom Baker. Yeah, I think you gave the Romans the same score.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it might even be worse.
You see, do you want me to go first?
It's a 4. It's a 4.
Okay. Because I gave the Romans a 3.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I think this is better than that. Mainly because there's none of the comedy nonsense in it.
Yes, that's true.
It's a bit more serious. So I'm going to give it a...
Just remember that between a 6 and a 7 is average.
This is below average, so it's less than a 6.
I'm just giving you context.
I'm going to give it... If it had just been the first 3 episodes, it probably would have been like a 2.
Ooh.
But I think it's recovered to a 4. I'm going to give it a Tom Baker as well.
Okay.
So 4 out of 13. Now, I want it to get better.
Yeah.
Please.
I think it will.
I know it will because there is a story coming up that I have seen.
The Chase.
The Chase, which is when it does get better. Now, I've got some bad news.
Oh, okay.
The next story arc is called The Crusade, and it is the one story arc from this season that is missing.
Of course it is.
But it is one that is on that DVD that I found from Thingy.
Oh.
Or
I could try finding it again online.
Find it on YouTube or whatever other place you found it. What was it?
Daily Motion.
Daily Motion. So I'll just tell you about it though. So
it's like YouTube, but whatever, you know.
In the Crusades, there's I think they've got 1 or 2 like full episodes.
Okay.
And then they've got audio from the rest, and they've got narration. They've got like a, it's kind of like one episode ends, and then it's William Russell.
Oh, okay.
Like in his house as an older Ian, so in character being like, I remember when blah blah blah. This is all episode 3. That kind of thing.
If we can find it, I would like to do it.
Yes.
In sequence.
He's like, Barbara and I were back on the TARDIS and we had all these adventures.
Is he going to spoil stuff? Because he's telling from the perspective of someone looking back over the whole journey?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
He might spoil more things, or he might mention things that won't matter to you until you see them anyway.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, I'll see if I can find it.
Okay.
Because that DVD didn't work, did it? Because Brisbane City Council.
That was a different DVD.
Oh.
But I can try.
What's wrong?
Nothing, just the way you let go.
How many episodes is The Crusade?
It is 4. And then the episode after that is called The Space Museum.
That's the one that's on BritBox.
That's the one that's on BritBox.
But before we do any of those, next episode's going to be special.
We're going to watch Doctor Who and the Daleks.
The movie.
The movie.
Now in...
colour?
I don't know.
Yes, I think it is in colour.
Ooh.
Peter Cushing. That's Moff Tarkin.
Oh, is this something we argue about whether he is the choking guy or not?
He doesn't get choked.
We also shouldn't call him that because it sounds like something weird.
Thank you for listening, everyone.
Yes.
If you liked it, can you rate it? That would be really handy.
Yes.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram,
YouTube. There's a link tree.
Yes.
It has all the links to everything that we have.
Our email is fanofthefool@gmail.com.
Send us anything.
If you love these episodes, you can let us know, and we can laugh.
Yep. We'll try again next week, huh?
I'm up to date on our 0 emails, so if it comes through, I'll see it immediately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Write a jolly good email.
And get Terry Nation back. What is this crap?
I know what's happening.
Agree with that?
What's at stake?
I don't think you do, Doctor. But I promise before this Christmas day is done, you will be glad of my help.
Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Happy Easter.
Your Father Christmas, you're real.
So I'm real. How do you think those presents got under the tree every year? Be sure to save some room for a tangerine, Doctor.
You're a fairy tale. You're a fairy tale. You're a fairy tale. You're a fairy tale.
Before this Christmas day is done, you will be glad of my help.
Be sure to save some room for a tangerine, Doctor.
Nobody likes tangerines. Tangerines. Tangerines.